Okay.
Hang on. Photo.
Get out of the car before I blow your fucking...
The story kicks off with a young couple, Ian and his girlfriend Sam, who are gearing up for a romantic getaway to Ring in the new year. Excited for their little escape, they hit the road, looking forward to some quality time together. On the way, they make a pit stop at a roadside hotel to grab some supplies. But as soon as Sam steps out of the car, she's caught off guard by a vicious dog barking from a nearby truck. The aggressive encounter unsettles her, but Ian, busy figuring out their route, doesn't pay much attention. Right then, the truck's owner, a man named German, shows up. Seeing Ian struggling with directions, he offers to help. Ian asks about a waterfall they were planning to visit, but German suggests another spot, Stone Creek. He swears it's a great camping area, piquing Ian and Sam's curiosity. Taking his advice, they decide to change plans and head there instead. As they drive, Ian starts getting a weird feeling. German's truck is right behind them. The uneasy feeling builds until German suddenly overtakes them. Relieved, Ian assumes he was just being paranoid. When they finally reach their destination, they stumble upon something eerie, an abandoned car sitting there. Though it seems odd, they brush it off and move a bit further before setting up camp. As they settle in, they notice another campsite nearby, but there's no sign of anyone around. They assume the campers must have gone exploring and continue with their evening. Later, Ian goes out to collect firewood and comes across something strange, a little kid's hat. The sight of it unsettles him, but without any real explanation, he decides to ignore it and heads back. Meanwhile, we're introduced to two men, German and his brother Chuck, who instantly give off bad vibes. They're seen ogling a woman in a way that's anything but respectful. Later that night, the two head to a bar for New Year's celebrations. While there, Chuck starts acting sketchy. He secretly takes pictures of a woman on his phone. German notices and is furious. He pulls Chuck aside, smashes his phone, and warns him not to do anything that could land him in trouble again, hinting at a past criminal record. As the night goes on, Chuck's behavior escalates, and he forcefully hits on a woman. She's disgusted, cusses him out, and storms off. Back in the woods, Ian steps out of his tent late at night and hears rustling from the nearby empty campsite. Curious, he investigates and finds wild pigs rummaging through food left in the open. The realization that the other campers haven't returned makes things even more unsettling. His unease grows when he checks their car and discovers one of their tires has been slashed. The next morning, Ian sets out to change the damaged tire while Sam starts packing up their things. Out of nowhere, a little boy appears, running towards Sam before tripping and falling. As she gathers their stuff, she makes a shocking discovery: an infant lying near their tent. The baby looks weak and malnourished, as if it hasn't been fed in days. Alarmed, Sam rushes to Ian, who immediately comes over to check on the child. Realizing they need to get help, they decide to leave. But with their car still out of commission, Ian considers using the abandoned car nearby. At this moment, Chuck arrives, having left a note for German saying he went hunting. German, upon seeing the note, decides to leave too, thinking Chuck might cause trouble. Meanwhile, Ian and Sam approach Chuck for help, explaining that they found a baby all alone. Chuck, seemingly disturbed by this, tells them he saw the baby's family heading towards Stone Creek. Offering to help, he agrees to go with Ian to find them, leaving Sam behind with the child. As they set off, Chuck grabs a rifle from his vehicle, revealing that he's a hunter. The two reach Stone Creek, only to be met with a horrifying sight: bodies scattered across the area. Ian is shaken to his core. At this point, the story jumps back 3 days, introducing another family: Rob, Margaret, and their 2 kids, Emma and baby Ollie. Turns out, Ollie is the baby Sam and Ian found. Just like the young couple, this family had come for a fun camping trip. They spent a normal day at the site, with Emma snapping selfies while her dad prepares food. As night falls, they sit around the campfire enjoying the peaceful outdoors. During their conversation, Rob shares a spooky local legend about Stone Creek. According to him, travelers have been kidnapped, robbed, and murdered in the area. Emma gets visibly uncomfortable, but Rob quickly laughs it off, assuring her it's just a silly story. The night ends with the family heading to bed. The next morning, Rob and Margaret, along with baby Ollie, go for a hike, leaving Emma behind. Before leaving, They take a moment to capture a happy family photo. Emma, absorbed in her phone, suddenly hears rustling in the bushes behind her. The eerie noises send chills down her spine, so she decides to take refuge in the car, hoping it'll keep her safe for the night. But the silence doesn't last long. Soon enough, two sketchy guys, German and Chuck, roll up in a truck, bringing along a menacing dog locked in a cage. Chuck steps out first, inspecting the car where MEM is hiding. Both men eye her with unsettling expressions, making it clear they're up to no good. German urges Chuck to harm the girl, but Chuck hesitates, reminding him of his past prison sentence for similar crimes. Ignoring him, German checks out MEM's tent but finds it empty. Meanwhile, Chuck stays glued to M, tapping on the car window, jolting her awake. Panic sets in as she sees Chuck and refuses to open the door despite his attempts to coax her out. The situation takes a terrifying turn when Chuck's patience runs out and his behavior becomes aggressive. He demands she step out, but MEM, desperate, slams her hand on the car horn, hoping someone will hear. The loud noise alerts her parents, Rob and Margaret, as well as German. German reaches the car first and immediately takes charge. Without hesitation, he yanks MEM out at gunpoint. Moments later, Rob rushes in to save his daughter, but is quickly overpowered. One brutal punch from German knocks him out cold. Margaret, realizing the danger, leaves her youngest child, Ollie, in the tent and sprints toward the car to defend her family. She bravely tackles Chuck, but he easily overpowers her. Meanwhile, MEM makes a desperate attempt to flee into the woods, but German blocks her path, trapping her with his gun. What follows is pure horror as German and Chuck subject Rob's family to unimaginable torment, forcing Rob to watch helplessly. As Chuck rummages through MEM's phone, he stumbles upon a family picture featuring a little boy named Ollie. This piques their interest, and they start pressing Margaret for answers about his whereabouts. But she stays silent. Amused, the two men decide to play a cruel game. They place a can on Rob's head and take turns shooting at it. Rob flinches, causing the can to drop, and without hesitation, Chuck executes him with a bullet to the head, killing him in front of his horrified family. Next, German forces Margaret into the same twisted game. When she moves too much, he knocks her out, using her unconscious body for target practice. Chuck mocks German's poor aim, frustrating him to the point where he shoots Margaret in the chest, ensuring she doesn't survive. Finally, he turns the gun on MEM and ends her life as well. After committing these horrific murders, the two men turn their attention to the tent, searching for Ollie. But he's not there. Ollie had wandered off into the woods looking for his parents, unknowingly saving himself from a gruesome fate. Unable to find the boy, German and Chuck leave the crime scene behind, thinking they've covered their tracks. Fast forward to the present. Chuck returns to Stone Creek, the place where the massacre happened, with Ian. When they arrive, Chuck is immediately uneasy. Margaret's body is missing. This means she might still be alive, a serious problem for them. As they search, they stumble upon Margaret, but before Ian can do anything to help, Chuck ruthlessly shoots her dead. Witnessing the murder shakes Ian to his core. He finally realizes just how evil Chuck and German really are. Chuck, sensing Ian's fear, casually confirms his worst nightmare. They not only killed Ali's family, but they also plan to do the same to him, after having their fun. Meanwhile, Sam is with Ollie when a furious German tracks him down. In a panic, Sam and Ollie rush to a car for safety, but German smashes through the windshield, trying to get to them. Fortunately, Ian had given Sam a knife earlier, which she uses to stab German and escape with Ollie. But the danger isn't over yet. As they flee, German releases his attack dog on them. Just when it seems hopeless, the dog gets distracted by a wild pig, allowing them to get away. Elsewhere, Chuck, now in full-blown rage mode, wildly fires his gun, accidentally hitting German, mistaking him for Ian. The sound of Ollie crying grabs Chuck's attention, and he goes after Sam again. After a short chase, he manages to grab her, violently pulling Ollie from her arms and tossing the child to the ground. Wounded and barely hanging on, German begs Chuck to put him out of his misery. At first, Chuck hesitates, but in the end, he gives in to his brother's pleas and puts a bullet in him, killing him. With German gone, Chuck shifts his focus back to Sam. He abducts her, taking her to the same place where he had slaughtered Ali's family. Initially, it seems like he plans to assault her, but then he changes his mind and decides to take her elsewhere. Meanwhile, Ian, having survived the chaos, finds the keys to German's truck and drives to the police station to get help, leaving Ollie behind in the forest. He reports everything, prompting officers to rush to the scene. As Chuck drives, Sam seizes an opportunity to cause a distraction. Her actions lead to a crash, with the car slamming into a tree. When Sam regains consciousness, she realizes she's still tied up, and Chuck is nowhere in sight. Thinking fast, she switches on the car's headlights, catching the attention of a passing police vehicle. Just as backup arrives, Chuck ambushes the officers, gunning them down in a bloody shootout. Ian, who had been following the officers, gets hit in the shoulder, making an already chaotic situation even worse. In a desperate move, Chuck takes Ian and Sam hostage, forcing Sam to drive. As they speed away, Sam anxiously asks where Ollie is. Overcome with guilt, Ian admits he left the boy behind in his rush to get help. The tension in the car builds, and Sam, determined to end this nightmare, suddenly accelerates, throwing Chuck off balance. The car flips over, sending everyone into a violent crash. Dazed but still alive, Sam sees her chance. With every ounce of strength, she grabs a heavy rock and repeatedly smashes Chuck's head, ending his reign of terror once and for all. The final moments of the movie show Sam and Ian recovering in a hospital, their bodies and minds scarred from the horrific events. But one question remains: what happened to Ollie? As the scene fades, we get a glimpse of German's dog, now by Ali's side, hinting that the loyal animal will keep him safe until help arrives. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more recaps. Until next time, take care.